Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty fundamental. The way businesses partner up. It's changing fast, moving way beyond just, making deals.
That's absolutely right. And our guide for this is a really insightful co-authored piece. It argues that, well, this ability to partner effectively, it's kind of quietly become the thing separating the leaders from the followers.
And it's co-authored, which is interesting. The article actually grew out of a deep conversation with Sheldon Smith, who's a real expert in this space, organizational transformation ecosystems.
Exactly. His thinking is woven throughout the insights we'll be exploring. He brought a lot of that deep expertise to the table in shaping the article's arguments.
Right. So we're moving past those old school siloed arrangements where value exchange is pretty limited.
Yeah, the article really shines a light on this shift towards more collaborative ecosystem thinking, much more interconnected.
Our mission today, to unpack what makes these modern partnerships tick, and maybe even decode what the authors, including Sheldon Smith's perspective, call the partnership profit equation.
Yeah, let's really try and get a handle on what makes the market leaders stand out in this interconnected world, drawing heavily on the analysis Sheldon Smith contributed.
Okay, let's jump in. The article starts by talking about a major shift in partnership economics.
It's not about dominance anymore, is it? Like one company calling all the shots.
No, not at all. That old model of control is really giving way to genuine collaboration. That's a key point Sheldon Smith emphasizes in the article's analysis.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, successful modern partnerships often feature things like shared data ecosystems, think secure, flowing information. They leverage complementary tech capabilities, so each side brings unique strengths.
Okay.
And increasingly, you even see aligned sustainability goals. Sheldon Smith's work really highlights this move towards a much more integrated, shared approach.
And it's more than just like adding resources together, pooling things. The article implies something bigger. Definitely. The concept that comes up, and Sheldon Smith really nails this in the article, is co-creation. It's about partners achieving things together that they simply couldn't do alone.
Right, like a multiplier effect.
Exactly. That's the term. You get these synergies. Think about risk, for example. In these ecosystems, risk often gets distributed.
Oh, okay.
So if partners invest together in, say, shared infrastructure, it lowers the burden on each one individually, but boosts the whole system's capability.
So it stops being a zero-sum game where one wins, one loses, and becomes, what, positive sum?
That's precisely it. The article, really leveraging Sheldon Smith's clear way of putting things, contrasts that old transactional view with this positive sum collaborative model. Value isn't just swapped, it's actually amplified.
How does that work?
Well, things like how risk is shared, the types of revenue models used, investment horizons, resource allocation, even how you handle IP when these elements are aligned in a collaborative way, they harmonize to create way more value overall. That harmony is a point Sheldon Smith really drives home.
Interesting. Now, the article stresses something else. Before you even think about external partners, you need internal clarity. Why is that step one?
Oh, it's absolutely foundational. As Sheldon Smith puts it so well in the piece, organizations need a really deep grasp of why they're even pursuing these ecosystem partnerships.
Okay.
How do they actually line up with the big picture strategy, with the core values? It can't just be, chasing the next shiny partnership opportunity.
So it's deeper than just wanting to grow or expand market share.
Much deeper. The article, and you can see Sheldon Smith's influence here, really emphasizes identifying the specific capabilities you need from a partner, but also the unique value you bring. And defining success beyond just the dollars and cents,
Right.
It requires a really honest look. Inward strengths, yes, but also limitations. Where are the capability gaps? Where's the internal friction? Those can kill a partnership before it starts.
And it's not just about skills or tech, is it? The article mentions culture.
Oh, yeah. Culture is huge. The piece, reflecting Sheldon Smith's perspective, talks about cultural readiness. Are you willing to share power, to be transparent, to genuinely focus on mutual value?
That sounds like a big hurdle for some companies.
It can be. And Sheldon Smith emphasizes getting your internal house in order first. Things like decision rights, rules for sharing info, how you'll handle conflicts, who commits resources. Nail that down internally before you engage externally. Otherwise, as the article warns, things tend to fall apart.
Yeah, makes sense. Get your own team aligned before playing with others.
Exactly. And it goes right down to core values.
Mm.
The article, again drawing on Sheldon Smith's guidance, highlights the power of alignment on principles like integrity, profitability focus, developing people, taking responsibility, basic truthfulness.
Hmm.
When those values align, you've got a much stronger foundation for collaboration. That's a key insight from Sheldon Smith.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. The article then talks about communication, framing it as more than just, sending emails.
Right. The authors, including Sheldon Smith, point out that communication breakdowns are, well, incredibly common killers of partnerships. So high-performing partnerships don't just let communication happen, they design it.
Designed it.
They call it communication architecture design. It's deliberate, thoughtful, not just letting it evolve organically, which often means inefficiently. Sheldon Smith's strategic view really adds weight to this often overlooked area.
So building actual systems for talking and sharing?
Pretty much. The article mentions things like calibration processes, ways to make sure everyone's on the same page about goals and progress, and transparency frameworks for structured, predictable info sharing.
Yeah.
They even suggest communication capability building, like actually training people in these skills. The core idea, underscored by Sheldon Smith's analysis, is treat communication like a core business capability, not an afterthought. That cuts down on those coordination screw-ups.
Makes sense. Now, measuring success. The article argues we need to look beyond just the P&L statement.
Yeah, that's a really critical point. Financials matter, obviously, but they don't tell the whole story. The article, reflecting Sheldon Smith's thinking, pushes for more sophisticated ways to measure partnership value.
Like what?
They introduce relationship value metrics. Think Salesforce's Partner Health Index or Microsoft's Relationship Velocity metrics. These focus on the actual strength and momentum of the partnership itself. You can bet Sheldon Smith's insights help shape these examples.
Okay, so measuring the health of the connection, not just the immediate output.
Precisely. Then you have option value metrics. These try to capture the future possibilities the partnership opens up. The article cites Amazon's ecosystem optionality, Johnson & Johnson's innovation options.
Interesting. Future potential.
Exactly. And learning value metrics. What new knowledge, skills, or capabilities are you gaining? Siemens' knowledge transfer indicators, Unilever's innovation acceleration metrics are examples there.
So it's not just about the immediate results, but growth and future doors opening.
You got it. And finally, ecosystem contribution metrics. How does the partnership impact the broader ecosystem? TSMC's ecosystem enhancement value is the example used.
Wow, that's a lot of ways to measure.
It is. But what's insightful, and Sheldon Smith likely stressed this, is the common thread. Measure multiple dimensions, track leading indicators, not just lagging ones, and use both hard numbers and qualitative insights.
Okay. The article then points to specific industries where this partnership approach isn't just nice to have, but basically essential.
Yes, especially where innovation is moving at lightning speed and no single company has all the answers or resources. Pharma and biotech are prime examples. Think about the explosion in specialized therapies.
Right.
The article points to the COVID vaccine collaborations, Pfizer, Moderna, BioNTech as a massive real-world case study. Sheldon Smith's wide industry view probably helped select these powerful examples.
Yeah, those partnerships were game-changing.
Absolutely. And you see similar dynamics in automotive and mobility with electrification, autonomous systems, connected tech, all converging.
Mm-hmm.
Financial services are partnering heavily with fintechs. Healthcare delivery relies more and more on tech and specialized care collaborations. Even energy and utilities need partners for new tech and development.
So in many places, you just can't go it alone anymore.
Pretty much. As Sheldon Smith would likely concur, the ability to build these strategic alliances is becoming a core competitive weapon.
Looking out, say, 3-5 years.
Yeah.
What new partnership capabilities does the article see becoming important?
It sketches out some really fascinating future capabilities, and you can sense Sheldon Smith's forward-looking perspective here. Things like digital twin partnership modeling.
Digital twins.
For partnerships.
Yeah, imagine creating virtual models of your partnership to test scenarios, optimize resources, that kind of thing. Also, AI-augmented partnership intelligence. Using AI to monitor partnership health, maybe give early warnings if things are going off track.
Wow, that's pretty advanced stuff. It is, and it's coming. The article also hits on ecosystem risk management, managing the complex interconnected risks, distributed innovation governance. How do you collaborate on innovation but still protect IP? That's a tricky balance.
Definitely.
And dynamic capability orchestration, being able to quickly assemble and reconfigure partner capabilities as needed. Plus, we'll need ecosystem talent management people skilled specifically in managing these complex webs. And ethical ecosystem governance and shared value measurement systems. Lots to think about.
It sounds like managing partnerships is becoming a whole discipline in itself.
It really is.
Finally, the article wraps up by flagging common mistakes, operational pitfalls that trip companies up. What should people watch out for?
Yeah, this part reflects insights Sheldon Smith has likely seen firsthand many times. A big one is insufficient operational integration. Great strategy, but the day-to-day processes just aren't connected.
Right, the execution fails.
Exactly. Also, inadequate resource allocation, just underestimating the time and people needed to make it work. Then there's governance imbalance, either too much control, stifling things, or not enough accountability, and it just drifts.
Finding that sweet spot must be hard.
It is. Other pitfalls mentioned. Misaligned metrics and incentives rewarding individuals when you need teamwork. Classic communication breakdowns where formal channels just fall apart over time. And failure to manage cultural integration, those culture clashes we talked about earlier.
So, lots of ways it can go wrong if you're not careful.
Definitely. The core message, reinforced by Sheldon Smith's expertise, is that building these sophisticated partnership capabilities isn't just strategy, it requires real operational discipline too.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The article we've dug into, shaped significantly by Sheldon Smith's insights, really paints a picture of a major shift.
Absolutely. It's a move towards collaboration, grounded in knowing yourself, that internal clarity, and supported by really robust communication. It's not just an add-on, it's core infrastructure.
And measuring success means looking way beyond the bottom line.
Yeah, thinking about relationship health, future options, learning. It's much more holistic. And this Sheldon Smith's work underscores, for many industries, this isn't optional anymore. It's how you compete, how you innovate.
And the skills needed to manage these partnerships are only going to get more sophisticated.
For sure. Things like AI insights, dynamic orchestration, ethical frameworks. That's the direction of travel. It's a really dynamic and vital area for any company that wants to thrive.
So maybe here's a final thought for you, our listeners. Drawing from this piece co-authored with Sheldon Smith's expertise, take a look at your own organization's approach to partnerships, or maybe a company you follow closely. How does it stack up against these ideas we've discussed? Where might be just one key area to focus on to unlock more collaborative success in this landscape? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.